What's up, guys, and welcome to the Olsen Angle. Today we're going to be talking about 5-star defensive tackle recruit Damon Payne. Damon's 6'3.5", 297 pounds, and you're going to notice on film he does a good job of covering ground in his first 3 steps. And when you have that great power and explosion and you can gain ground quickly, it really is going to cause issues for offensive linemen when you're blocking. If you make any type of mistake, you have any type of false step, you don't get good inside hands on Damon, you're already going to be at a disadvantage because he fires off the ball with such quickness and power. This young man is a disruptive force on the defensive line, and it's not just solely because he's fleet of foot and he can cover ground, but he also has extremely active hands. He fires off the ball low to the ground, gets inside hands and jolts the offensive lineman with a powerful punch, then uses those active hands to disengage, and he wreaks havoc in the backfield. But the thing I'm most impressed with Damon is his ability to naturally react to the play around him. And I know some of you are wondering what that means, naturally reacting. Not only does it mean diagnosing the play quickly, but also realizing what the offensive lineman is giving you. When offensive linemen fire off the ball, there's always going to be some type of variability. Whether the offensive lineman is taking too long of steps and he's not underneath himself and controlled in his movement. There's sometimes situations where offensive linemen lean at defensive linemen, either in run blocking or pass blocking situations. Also, offensive linemen sometimes have low hands and they don't get a punch on the defensive lineman. There are plenty different scenarios where offensive linemen give opportunities to defensive linemen to exploit, and Damon does a great job of assessing those opportunities and taking advantage of them. You're going to see plenty of times throughout the highlights, if an offensive lineman has their head in the block, he does a great job of simply pulling the offensive lineman by him and just utilizing a swim move. Or sometimes an offensive lineman doesn't go ahead and get his hands on Damon. So what he does is he goes ahead and clubs those offensive linemen's hands and hits him with a quick rip move, and it allows him to get in the backfield and wreak havoc. And it's not like you're going to see this once or twice in the highlights. You're going to see this a multitude of times where Damon again successfully assesses those opportunities the offensive lineman's giving him, and he exploits them. Because Damon's able to take advantage of what the offensive lineman gives him, he's able to cause pressure in the backfield and passing situations, but also he's an excellent run stopper. When he goes ahead and disengages from offensive linemen, he doesn't abandon his assignment. He stays within his gap, plays his role, and makes plays for the defense. He has a non-stop motor, and that's something that's crucially important, especially for defensive tackles, because that position is a very physically tasking position. You need a young man out there who's going to give it 110% every single rep at defensive tackle, because they're going to be consistently getting double teamed. They don't know what's coming at them. It's a very, very hard and trying position. It's a grueling position. So having a young man who has a non-stop motor is always a huge plus for a defensive tackle. Speaking of double teams, this is actually something I think Damon doesn't get a lot of credit for. Damon does a great job of splitting double teams. He gets skinny and continually just creates himself as a wedge in between the offensive linemen. And I can tell you one thing, defensive line coaches love a guy who can split a double team. The linebackers are going to love Damon when he's able to go ahead and occupy 2 blockers and split a double team like that. It makes everybody's job easier around him. And it might not look fancy on the highlights. You may not be extremely impressed with it, but I can tell you one thing, it is a huge contributing factor into a successful defense. But enough of me rambling on and on, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the highlights. Look at the explosion off the very first play. The offensive lineman doesn't even get a hand on him. He's that quick off the line of scrimmage. I think there's a misassignment on that play, but still, a good job of diagnosing what's going on, getting in the backfield, and making a tackle for a loss. Oh, that's beautiful. He jolts the offensive lineman, extends his arms, creates that separation, disengages with a swim move, gets in the backfield, makes a tackle for a loss on the goal line. That's a perfect play right there. Again, he gets those inside hands, and as soon as he notices that offensive lineman's leaning even a slight bit, he goes ahead and clubs and rips right past him, gets in the backfield, and breaks up that play. A little twist move coming up here. Ooh. Look at the effort on that play. He never gives up. I love it, and I know coaches love that type of mentality too. That offensive lineman takes too large of a second step. He's out of control. Damon immediately realizes that, just rips right past him and collects that easy sack. Again, naturally reacting to what the offensive lineman gives him and taking advantage of it. I love it. When you have that type of speed off the line of scrimmage, again, any type of false step or any mistake the offensive lineman makes, they're going to be at a severe disadvantage because, again, Damon's able to cover so much ground in such a short amount of time. Oh my God. That is so beautiful and subtle and destructive all at the same time. I had to watch this play about 3 or 4 times to grasp the magnitude of everything he accomplished on one snap. It starts off with a subtle slap and chop of the offensive lineman's inside hand, and when he does that, it doesn't allow the offensive lineman to get any type of punch on Damon. After bypassing that first offensive lineman, he hits the pulling guard in the backfield and then tackles the running back for a loss. It's beautiful, and it all stems from that very, very subtle slap of the hands, chop of the hand on the offensive lineman, and then he wreaks havoc in the backfield. Here that plays again, guys. Every time I watch it, that play gets more and more beautiful. A little offensive tackle highlight here. Ooh, he avoids the pulling guard as he gets chopped in the backfield. Then he works inside out. He blocks that Mike linebacker, and he's also able to go ahead and take that safety out of the play too. That's a great job. He avoids the cut block, and he makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage. He works inside out. Again, it's not a killer block, but he does a good job of working inside out, and he doesn't quit on the play. I can't tell you how valuable of a trait that is. Let's say the running back goes ahead and gets the ball stripped from him right towards the end zone. He's hustling down there. He can go ahead and make a play on that because he never quits. Oh my gosh. That is a beautiful play right there. I know some might not find that sexy, but he splits the double team and he creates pressure on the quarterback, helping create the sack. When you're able to split a double team on a passing situation as a defensive tackle, you've done something extremely special. And I know he doesn't get the sack on this particular play, but he helps create the sack. He puts the pressure in the quarterback's face, and that outside linebacker finishes the job, but he is the impetus as to why the quarterback is stopped in the backfield. That's a beautiful job. He does a great job of just naturally reacting to the play right there. He notices the offensive lineman has his head down, he's leaning at him. So what does he do? He goes in and hits the offensive lineman with the club, swims right over top of him, and creates a quarterback hurry. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. He does a great job. He splits the double team between the tackle and the tight end. He notices the tackle is leaning at him a little bit. He goes ahead and swims right over top of him, and he tackles that running back in the backfield. It might not seem like a big deal, but when you're a defensive tackle and you're able to split a double team and make a tackle in the backfield, that's hugely important for the defense. Oh my gosh. He moves so quickly off the snap of the ball that he beats the pulling guard and makes a tackle in the loss on the running back. That's excellent. Do you see how natural that is? The offensive lineman's leaning, so what he does is he pulls him right by, swims over top of him, and makes a tackle in the backfield on the running back. It's so natural and smooth for him to make that transition. He reads what the opportunity is, and he exploits it. We've had so many examples already throughout these highlights where he's able to just analyze what's going on with the offensive tackle and to exploit that opportunity. It's beautiful. Again, another great job of disengaging from the offensive lineman and making a tackle at the line of scrimmage on the running back. I mean, it's beautiful. Again, he naturally reacts. The offensive lineman's leaning. He swims right over top of him. He's got such great explosion. That down lineman, that guard, has no chance of getting a hand on him because he's just way quicker off the line of scrimmage. There that speed is again. He crosses the face of the offensive tackle, gets into the backfield, and tackles that quarterback for a loss. He does a good job of moving that defensive end off the line of scrimmage. And they run right behind him for the touchdown. That's great. 1, 2, 3. And realistically, he probably has no chance of making a sack or a quarterback hurry in this scenario. It doesn't change his effort. It doesn't deter him. He's still 110% to the end of the whistle. Here he is again, splitting another double team and making a tackle in the backfield for a loss. After watching the highlights, it's pretty obvious that Damon is an elite run stopper and wreaks havoc in the backfield. He has those active and violent hands which allow him to go ahead and create separation and disengage from offensive linemen. And when you pair that up with the power, explosion, and the athleticism, you're looking at a young man who's going to be very special at defensive tackle at the next level. Well, thanks so much, guys, for watching the video. And if you've enjoyed this content, be sure to let me know by subscribing, commenting, and liking below. Again, I do read all the comments, so if there is somebody you want me to cover in the future, go ahead and drop it in the comments section, and I'll feature them in an upcoming video. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for stopping by, and have a blessed day.